Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. And of course, we're looking at a very, very key discussion on the show today in continuation of our 2024 in review. We're looking at the resurgence of regional development commissions in Nigeria. Recall that we had Niger Delta Development Commission, and that has been there for a very long time to provide development for the Niger Delta region. In 2017, Northeast Development Commission bill was signed into law by the former President Muhammadu Buhari. After then, we've had Southwest Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southeast Development Commission, and of course the bill for the North Central Development Commission is awaiting President Bola Tinubu assent as we speak. And is Nigeria going back to the regional system of government? I have joining me via phone to begin this conversation. Aliyu Ilias is an economist. He joined me via phone from Abuja. Good morning, Aliyu.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, let's start this discussion. Many have described creation of Regional Development Commission as a perversion of regionalism in Nigeria. Do you agree?
Right. For me, I think the issue of regionalization of our country has gone. I don't know why that still bringing it back. For me, I think our government made the mistake. Niger Delta was not a region. It was a resource state that have oil, and it starts from Edo, it starts from Imo, from Ondo, and they come together because of the resources. And I'm looking at the derivation of things. That's why we have Niger Delta. But where it started from was the Northeast Commission. And for me, it's as if we are going back, because I don't see need for that. Whereas each state has their own autonomy, why are you now bringing that? It will become competition, and that competition is a problem. It will also lead to secession. Because at the point, one region will be thinking we are less attended to, and it's why now if we are doing that, the Northeast is still feeling surchanged. I'm sorry, the Southeast is still feeling surchanged because of the number of ministers, the number of states they have, and it is conditioned by the geographical location. But by and large, I think this regionalization is not what we need now. We need to strengthen each state to look for what they can do better. For me.
Indeed, but some are saying that going back to that region will create some kind of competition like we had in the past, where we had the northern region, we had the western region, we have the eastern region at the time. Of course, there was also midwestern region that was later created. Don't you think this is going to create some kind of competition that will enhance development?
Well, for me, I think the competition is going to be negative. Because if you see National Assembly now, people start identifying themselves now. They're not senators of Federal Republic, they're senators. When they'll be looking from their region, and their region will be threatening them. So there will not be agitation that if region A gets 500 billion, region B must get. Perhaps they have different issues, different conditions. You cannot compare the erosion in Southeast to the erosion in South-South. And South we also want to get something. You cannot compare the urgency in the North East to North Central. So you must have, if I can advise the president, so they have gone far in it, to have just anything that have problems, let's start putting together and see to it. Not that you start regionalizing. For me, it's going to bring much more unhealthy competition that it will lead to people thinking we can even be our own if our region is doing better than other regions. It's a fact that we need to do critically.
Some people have also said that some agreeing with what you're saying, but in a different dimension, they say that largely those commissions will be a center for contract and, of course, another honeypot for influential politicians.
It is crystal clear that that's what it's going to be. In fact, look at Niger Delta as old as it is. What is the significance in their activity done? It's like a mirage. We have not seen anything they do. So I think each state should tackle their problem, each state should fight for their development, each state should deepen their internal revenue, not looking at it from the perspective. In fact, within that region itself, there's going to be another problem. So let's assume that the Northwest, Northwest, yes, Northwest, you are going to do that. Automatically, Kano is going to become the capital of Northwest. And other people will start struggling, and a lot of things will start happening. So that is the challenge we must see. If there's a need to develop a route for a particular region, let's develop the road. Not that you now think until you generalize it. I think it's going to divide us more.
Aliyu, I have read some provisions of the acts that establish some of this commission. It seems that their functions are indeed the same, but my concern is in terms of resources allocation and contribution, because each state now are to contribute resources within their region to enhance development. What about states that are not as viable as the rest within the region?
Right, that's what I just explained. So, for instance, let's assume that a particular region wants to create a railway. So, when you want to create railway in that region, you know that let's use Southwest. Now, if you create railway in Southwest that's connecting, you know that Lagos Ogun State will benefit more. And Lagos Ogun State may even be waiting for Osun State, waiting for Ekiti State to contribute the state. That would be a serious problem. And that's why I said, if you want to develop Nigeria, why not look at Nigeria holistically? When you start dividing it, it will let people see themselves beyond what they are. People will feel certain, and some people will be benefiting it. It cannot be equal. And like some people rightly said, it should be a center for contracts. Look at the number of contracts going to Niger Delta. How, by now, Niger Delta should be a Dorado. But how far is Niger Delta now? With all the, a lot of corruption therein.
Indeed, they're talking about Niger Delta that you have mentioned. Let's quickly touch about NDDC. NDDC was indeed established in 2000, that's 24 years ago, to facilitate rapid and sustainable development for Niger Delta region. Now, well, looking at what we have seen on ground in the last 24 years, will you say that NDDC has indeed succeeded in doing that, given the fact that about 7 trillion naira were said to have been allocated to that commission so far?
Well, if you look at their location, they are not in the same place. We have Imo, we have Ondo, we have South State, and a lot of them like that. Now, looking at it, they are not together like the normal region, that they will be in the same area. Now, but in terms of development, I can tell you that the money that we expended to Niger Delta does not justify the development, the infrastructure they have created. And that is a serious gap. You recall with why there was a serious scandal that happens then, when we have this very Senate president was the minister of Niger Delta, and we have a woman who is the head of Niger Delta. We know a lot of things off the mic, a lot of things that happened during that period. So that shows that these regions are just like money collector. They are not implementing what is expected. So imagine if government had to send that money directly into Niger Delta. I think that should have been better than keeping it in the hands of some people. And that's the challenge we have. So I hope all these developed commissions will not even have issue. Why? We know we have peculiar issue in Northeast. Must other regions also copy the, or are they also asking for the same problem Northeast is having? It's a serious challenge that we need to come out of.
Indeed. Well, you are against the commission, but don't you think you should be against the corruption that may happen within the commission? Because if you take out the corruption, of course, you may be able to achieve meaningful development.
Well, I'm not even looking at the corruption. I'm looking at the negative externalities that it will bring, the unhealthy competition that it will bring. If your own region is getting 500 billion and my own region is getting 200 billion, I will have to talk. That irrespective of this, you must give me this. If then we now start bringing political analysis, we have much number, we have much landmass. A lot of things will start coming. So that's why I said, why not allow those states to fend for themselves, get direct allocation, and solve their problem directly.
Let's look at the positive side. If you read the commission's act as well, it's talking about each commission is mandated to conceive, conceptualize, as well as plan and implement projects and programs for sustainable development of its region. Each is also required to identify factors inhibiting development of its region as well, and assist member states in formulation and implementation of policies to ensure a sound and efficient management of resources of that region. Now, so if you have this kind of a layout development plan, don't you think the government may not really be totally wrong?
Well, the fact is that is it different from what it had to do? What is different? I don't see big difference, because it's the same way that are supposed to go to state, they are going to give to the region. And the region will be doing what some people actually think benefits them. Remember, that's politicking. there'll be interplay of politics then that, okay, we have some social particular area because I'm the National Assembly. I can easily influence how the president will come to that area. These are the things we are seeing. Also in National Assembly, even within constituency, people will fight for their constituency and say, this must come to my constituency. These are the things we must look. In as much as I'm of the opinion, or I'm in support of anything that will develop Nigeria, but I want us to see this with cautious optimism.
Indeed, you talked about this region being the same as states, but we've had states for several years, and it doesn't seem to like we are getting it right. Most states, if you go to them, most of them are just like glorify local government. If you go to some state capital, they are like glorify local government headquarters. Don't you think with the coming of a region, this kind of commission, of course, there will be the administration will be so closer to most states, and of course, this will also trickle down to the development, especially of the third tiers of government, which is more closer to the people.
Right. I think the only thing that can benefit from it is the development of infrastructure that will be central. Maybe road connecting roads, maybe rail, maybe power too can also be another factor. These are the areas they should look at investing in such things that will benefit the whole state in the region. And if you look at what could majorly benefit them, maybe industrialization would be one of the benefits, because industrialization will flourish if there are infrastructure and enabling environment. And that will bring competition, like I said. Competition may be given at this being healthy, but in the long run, it might be unhealthy for us.
Well, if you say it's unhealthy, because when you look at our history, when we were in the region, a lot of people will disagree with you that during the regional government, we developed more. For example, we had the Granite Pyramid in Kano, the famous cocoa house in Ibadan, and so many other, the cotton, and textile companies in Kaduna and some other northern states. If you go to the eastern Nigeria, we have quite a lot of coal and so many other commission as well. But since we move into state creation, where Nigeria was, balkanized into several states, and we're now practicing more like a unitary system of government, in quote, so to say. Don't you think we developed more at that time? Because as of today, the Granite Pyramid is gone, the cocoa in the southwest is gone, the coal mining in Enugu is non-existent, and of course, everybody is now waiting for the allocation from the center for them to be able to get a fund to develop their state.
Now, the question is, how many are we when we have regionalism? How many are we? How many states do we have? Now, we have more states, just like you telling America, but maybe there are 50 states should be also regionalized. It's possible because what a particular state wants is not what the second state wants. And that's you are forcing them together now to have one central aim. And you will recall, the cocoa is still there. People that are doing granite are still doing the granite. The thing is, each state should look inward, develop their own resources, and maximize it. If you still go to regionalization, it will still be at benefit of one state compared to the other states.
So you do not think that with the coming of region, the government at the center may cut allocations of resources to the state? Because what we have is states putting their resources together for them to be able to achieve development. Definitely,
that's what the safety means now. By the time federal government comes, the resources are supposed to go to state will be divided by the region. That's the problem. That's what I'm actually trying to say. That why not allow each entity to fend for themselves, to survive as it were, but why bringing them up together? For me, we have expanded beyond generalization of Nigeria. If not, a Yoruba man will now say this is our region. Hausa man will say this is our region. And everyone will say this is our region. It will become competitive and it will be unhealthy.
Well, maybe we are defining it, even if we are just defining it by law now. If not, there's still, if you go to the southwest, they will still tell you it's a Yoruba region. If you go to the southeast, they will tell you it's Igbo region. If you go to the south, that is where you have a lot of diversities as well.
It is not legalized and it was not official. It is just an assumption, but now you are making it official for people of a particular area to see themselves more and to see that their destiny in their hand, not in Nigeria again. These are the things we are telling other people, and it's quite challenging. For me, it's going to bring an unhealthy situation whereby once part of Nigeria already is feeling cheated already. So by the time you now bring that, you will deepen it the more.
Indeed. If you talked about that, let's look at the South-South, for example, where you have a lot of diversities, from rivers to Bayelsa to Cross River to Akwa Ibom to Delta and, of course, to Edo State. This is a state where you have a diversity of ethnicity, ethnic groups as well. Don't you think that if, for example, if you have representatives from each of these states now forming a region of 6 states from the South-South region, and each state come up with a representatives with the needs of each particular state, that will indeed take off pressure from the government at the center?
Right, I think that's the essence of what they created, and that's how they actually appoint people. Because I saw on the list of appointment, each person comes from each state, and they now have one head. Remember, somebody still held it, and that's why I said, during there will be politicking again. One will say my state needs this, no. One will say my state needs this. Do we ever have that power or the other extremes and capacities? We now use it more to benefit its places. There is just the same thing as having National Assembly. So how can we have National Assembly? We now still have regionalization. That's what I'm trying to say. What's the work of National Assembly? It's for each of them to bring about their needs, the needs of their constituency, of their environment, and fight for it. But now you have National Assembly, you now still have regional executives. It's somehow.
Indeed, they're talking about having National Assembly and have also regional executives there. Let's talk about federalism. Federalism is what a lot of people have been clamoring for a very long time now, whereby states will own their resources and make some allocation to the center. Don't you think government is sticking along that direction by coming up with these development commissions?
This will work through federalism because it won't allow each state to see themselves again. So now, instead of each state struggling to do more to manage their federation, there is now a layer again. So we have the federal layer, we now have the regional layer. That's another thing now that we are looking at, because government is trying to manage the two together, which is not healthy. So there's another layer of governance now being created by this government.
Indeed, another layer of governance there being created by this government. There, another area I also want us to look at now. Let's look at the regions now, according to they are being created now. You talk about the Northwest Development Commission, the Southeast Development Commission, the Southwest, and all of them there. If you look at in terms of uniformity in ethnicity, the Southeast seems to be more, together, of course, as well as the Southwest as well. Do you think this will have any impact on other development commissions like North Central, Northeast, Northwest, where you have a lot of diversities?
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say. People that will benefit it more and they have seen themselves more is the Igbo part of Nigeria, which is Southeast. Because they are together, and I think they speak a central language that they can. But come to North Central, do you know how many tribes in North Central? Do you know the agitation that will be for power in North Central? So it's going to be a serious issue. Why not let each state be on their own? Then the federal government will have because for me, we have the federal, we have the state, we have the local government. But now we have the federal, we have the region, we have the state, and we have the local government. And that's what I'm saying, that government is trying to create another layer of governance. So for North Central now, for me, I think there will be serious agitation, serious strife for getting the more money from the region in the place of looking at budgetary allocation directly or FAC allocation directly from the federal government.
Pot that all states are indeed feeding from right now. We hope that with this creation of these development commissions and, of course, some of the laws, if you read them, they are indeed quite a whole lot of encompassing that will actually, make some of these regions to become probably maybe independent.